let's start with what is a big backing of your company, a big round. Iconic is in there, Kleiner Perkins, Lightspeed, Capital G, Altimeter. The list is long, but those are our top tier investors. What is it that they think they see in K2?
Yeah, space is becoming an infrastructure play, right? And you're seeing applications like communications and compute going from the ground and the air to space. And so we started K2 to go build the highest power, most capable satellites that have ever been launched. And I think these investors saw that what we had built was something super different, really differentiated, massive moats from a technical perspective, and a really solid book of revenue to build off of. And so, yeah, we're really excited to announce this round. It's a big round for us, and we're excited to bring a bunch of those names onto our cap table.
So K2 can do quite a lot with $500 million because the whole point of the design you have is that you can produce very fast at low cost. Low cost being $15 million per satellite. Is that kind of the play here to get funding to move quick?
Exactly. Yeah, the capability that we're delivering historically was done by a $1 billion satellite made by one of the primes. It cost $1 billion and took 7 to 10 years to produce. Like, our whole play was, how do we figure out how to take on all of these hard engineering challenges, giant solar arrays, giant batteries, giant reaction wheels, figure out how to do that in an industrial way, turn it from something that used to be a science project to something that's mass producible. And if we could do that, we could reset how we roll out infrastructure layers in space.
If you're the domain expert in very big satellites with high power requirement, does SpaceX or someone else give you a call, Karan, and say, look at our design for orbital data center, help us?
I think that people saw the 20 kilowatt satellite that's now flying on orbit today, and they're starting to hear about our plans for what we call the 100 kilowatt class satellite. It's actually a bit more than 100 kilowatts, but we'll save that for another day. But it's one of the largest, highest power satellites that has ever existed, and it's what makes orbital data centers possible. So while it's not SpaceX, almost everybody else has been reaching out to us asking to work with us on that capability because, going high power allows you to put up a lot of compute. Being able to put a lot of compute on orbit fundamentally changes the economics, the scalability of compute, especially at a time where we're, pretty constrained from a supply perspective on compute. And so we're excited to be in the middle of that. We're going to be working with a number of different players as we roll out that differentiated capability.
It's been nearly 4 months since you deployed your first satellite. What has the learnings been in that time?
Yeah, I think at this point, we're like 120 days in, and it's been amazing. Like, we've learned a ton. The entire tech stack was all brand new, right? About 85% of the satellite was built in-house. We had to design it because these subsystems didn't exist with this capability. And so this was a major de-risking moment for the company. We've collected a tremendous amount of data on the performance of the platform across different thermal situations, across different power situations with a bunch of different payloads. All of that has now been fed back into what we call our Block 2 design, which is going to be rolling out next year and launching across 2 different launches next year as we scale the company.
You have some contractual obligations to the government around Golden Dome, for example. What's the pressure of that to meet deadlines, to be able to pull it off?
Yeah, at this point, we've sold about $1 billion in contracts, right? We crossed the $1 billion mark a few months ago, and a lot of it was on the back of this successful first mission. We have a number of national security customers that are incredibly excited about this capability and what it could do for future infrastructure and architecture plays that they're thinking about, right? And so, hitting schedule is incredibly important. We did that with this first mission. We've now got a tremendous amount of demand. A lot of what we're using the fundraising for is to go make sure that we can de-risk schedule, de-risk the supply chain, de-risk the subsystems, mass production, increase the footprint, and make sure that we're continuing to execute to satisfy the massive demand that we're seeing.
Karan, real quick, your launch provider, and what does launch capacity look like for you guys going forward?
Yeah, so the first satellite, the 20 kilowatt satellite, is made for any 5-meter fairing class launch vehicle. To date, we've launched on Falcon 9, and we'll continue to launch on a number of other launches with SpaceX in the future. Beyond that, we'll use other players that are building 5-meter fairing class launch vehicles. And in the future, the 100 kilowatt class satellite is designed for much larger, super heavy launch vehicles like New Glenn and Starship. So we're pretty excited about the new launch vehicles that are coming online. We're excited about what SpaceX is doing. And we just want to be able to take advantage of the launch options that are going to be out there over the next 10 years.